Michigan Magazine is kept on the road by our many Michigan friends. CAMPS and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare, a winning combination. CAMPS and Donuts. Hingeman Acres Canoe Livery and Resort on M33 just north of Mayo, catering to the outdoor enthusiasts. Cabins, canoes, kayaks, rafts, and more. Daytime or overnight trips along the world-famous Asabo River. A family getaway for over 75 years. The spirit has returned to the historic, newly remodeled Kerry James Restaurant in Cummins. Bring that special person for a delicious meal out, or bring the family for an amazing dining experience. The new owners have expanded seating and developed a delicious menu second to none. Stop in for a quick bite or experience the delicacies being prepared for you now at the new Kerry James of Cummins. Introducing the Weed Gator for safe and easy aquatic weed removal. The Weed Gator is the #1 alternative to harsh chemicals for getting rid of pond and lake weeds. Safe and effective. See it in action now at weedgator.net. Made in the USA. This week on the show, we venture into the UP wilderness to explore the abandoned hunting camps with Upper Peninsula author Bill Bjork. Bill has documented the dozens of hunting camps that dotted this prime wildlife area known back in the 1900s as a hunter's paradise. Join us on this journey into a Michigan deer hunting tradition, hunting camp. Then we return to Luzerne for part 2 of our story of a husband and wife team who opened separate businesses across the street from one another, and they couldn't be further apart in their mission. As you may have seen last week, Misty supplies sweet treats to locals and tourists. On the other side of the street, husband, Doug Gregg, is a chiropractor straightening out a local clientele with not only treatment but also with healthy, holistic, alternative lifestyle suggestions. We visit with Doug Gregg to learn more about the decision to put down roots along with his wife, Sweet Misty, in this small rural crossroads village. It's all coming up on Michigan Magazine. CAMPS and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare. What began as a crazy idea among 9 police officers to purchase the historic Clare City Bakery quickly became an international phenomenon, carrying on a Michigan tradition with delicious donuts, pies, pastries, breads, original coffee, and more. Plus a full menu at the new adjacent traffic stop diner. Downtown Clare, a winning combination. CAMPS and Donuts. The Michigan-made rebounding mailbox pole. Never again worry about the winter snowplow taking out your mailbox with this ingenious rebounding pole. Your mailbox takes a hit and keeps coming back year after year. Call now or visit their website, toughmailboxes.com. The Cedar Tavern and Grill of Lupton, where friends come to meet friends and families come for delicious food and a wholesome atmosphere. Come relax with your favorite beverage or bring the crew for a great meal and live entertainment. It's happening now at the Cedar of Lupton. The love of nature is within the soul of every Michigan citizen. In the more desolate areas of the state, it can literally surround you with all that is natural and good. The love of the outdoors and nature has been handed down from generation to generation by those that pioneered the Michigan wilderness. In the latter part of the 1800s and into the early 1900s, this love of the outdoors became even more evident as people sought to escape into the Michigan woods into their own little camps, far from the increasing hustle and bustle of civilization. On this edition of Michigan Magazine, we find ourselves deep in the Hiawatha National Forest at the site of one of these early hunting camps, now deteriorating as nature reclaims the space that will always be rightfully hers. Here in the solitude of the Upper Peninsula wilderness, we revisit this site, one of many that are being reclaimed by nature, with UP author William Bjork. Bill's life lately has been dedicated to these wilderness camps. With his latest book, The Camps Up North, Bill and his wife Fran have documented this history in the woods with stories of the life and times of several of these deserted camps.
This is part of the Milliken camps, dating back to at least in the early 20s.
My goodness.
They used to come up and do their fishing and so on.
That's what I was going to ask you when we say camps. What do we mean? Kind of a recreational camp, a camp for the family, or a combination of everything? Or?
In the UP, it seemed to evolve. It was a family thing. If you look back into the history of the early immigrants when they came here in the 1850s, 1860s, and so on, camps were extremely important. It was part of their recreational pastime. When they weren't working, they were out at some type of a camp. A lot of them were old lumber camps that were reconverted and so on. And they picked blueberries, they fished, and they hunted, and they recreated. Mm-hmm. So it was a common place. In the UP, especially central UP, was company-owned land, but was left open for the people to use. And And a lot of them kind of squatted land. They went into an area like this, and they found a creek that they could fish and so on. It was a good place for water for the horses and so on. They cut the timber down, and they made a camp, and it was just a place to hang out. Some have been taken care of by families and friends and so on, and they've been in some cases in the same families for 100 years, and they've really taken good care of them. Others are like this, that have been left go and slowly disappear. And of course the winters up here are kind of tough, and the roof goes first. As you can see, what's happening with this one.
Oh,
Pretty
yes.
soon the sidewalls cave in and it's gone, so the memories are gone as well.
Oh, but you're trying to keep them pretty well preserved in this book you've got here, the camps. How do you really say the title, camps?
The camps up north.
Okay.
Kind of a play on the UP, I guess. And
right, and it's really a unique history. I mean, your father was a pretty good outdoorsman, right? Did he take advantage of any of these type of camps back then? Or?
Yes, he spent a lot of time at, especially North Star and Camp Weasel and some of the camps that are in there. He was born in 1902, and so during the Depression he was at a right age to be out on his own and single. And they used to spend many parts of the winter, in some cases the entire winter, out there trapping and hunting and living off the land. So as a youngster growing up, I was just enthralled with these stories that him and his brother talked about, that days, years ago, as everybody hears, you know, in the 10s and the 20s and 30s, when they spent time out there. And it was very exciting, very interesting for a young boy growing up listening to. So I think this is why I followed up on it, and found that a lot of the camps, as we visited, were gone. You might just find a mound or a few logs left, and so I wanted to capture that a little bit, and before it was completely lost.
Well, that's a big project you had on your mind there. I mean, doing the research and finding the material available. What avenues did you go through to find the unique stories that we have here?
The funny thing is, there was one camp, the original camp that we talked about was Camp North Star. And Camp North Star is one of the first ones in the book, and one that my dad talked about a lot. And I wrote a story about Camp North Star and sent it into Marquette Monthly out of Marquette, Michigan. And they ran a publication on it, and I got a response back from a couple in Ishpeming that had quite a few photos. A friend of theirs was an amateur photographer, and he had taken many photos of the old camps, and when he died he had left these photos to this family. So she read my article and called me and said, if you would like to, you can come over and take a look. And it was just beyond belief. I never thought I'd ever see some of these camps that my dad had talked about, because they were already gone. And they had photos of 40 or 50 different camps, some I had never even heard of in that particular area.
Oh, wow.
So it really worked out well. It really made the book, because the book, obviously you can talk about these old camps, but unless you have photos of them, it really doesn't mean
these photos too are really just priceless photos. They're slices of life, and you can see how much fun and just how much it may have meant to these people that took advantage of them way back then. And then the process just kind of snowballed. I mean, one person tells you of other photos and things of that sort.
There isn't much written on it, and I guess that's why I wanted to put something down to record the history. But you talk to one individual and they say, well, you've got to talk to so-and-so, because he really spent a lot of time out there, or she did. And then we got together, and one time we had a session where we had 6 or 8 people that were in their 80s, late 80s in some cases, and in some cases older than that, but they really vividly recall the times that they spent in the camps, you know, when they were young, and you could just see their faces light up when they talked about it. They can remember that like it was yesterday, and they remember names, and they remember the horses, and they remember all the occasions, and it was very enjoyable to do.
I see some of these photos as not only the summer months that they were out there, that they took advantage of it, and then the winter months, and back then I think there was a little more snow coming down back in the wilderness back then. Or is it still like that up in the Upper Peninsula?
It's still like that in the UP. That hasn't changed. That's one thing that hasn't changed.
Oh boy, 1928, the old Fords and the old vehicles, and a lot of neat things that people just have memories of that are going to be held for posterity in books like this. You've got another one probably underway now, or what?
My wife and I, since it's a team effort, Birch Tree Enterprises is her and I, and I do the writing essentially. I do it all in longhand. I'm not the typist at all. If I did, the book would still be in the works.
I've been encouraging him to write for many years because I knew he had the talent and he just didn't have the time. Raising a family and working and so on.
Sure.
But once he sat down and we just went with it.
When you laid it out, I bet you were drawn back into these days.
Yes,
it's amazing. And the pictures, I mean, they tell stories themselves.
Well,
I mean,
they sure do, yes.
It kind of takes you back and it puts you right back into the wilderness like we're here today. And it's a beautiful day here. It's a fall day, and we've got a little creek running by here. Pretty much the cabins or the camps were near water sometimes, mostly, or...
Well, you needed a water source, both for people, obviously. We didn't have wells, didn't have electricity, and horses had to drink.
That's right.
So that was always a priority, and almost every camp that we located was near water. It was a spring or a creek or a river.
Is this a retirement project?
This is a retirement project. Actually, it's a long story, but this is the second effort, I guess. We did write a book, a manuscript, about my family's history from their coming over from Sweden in 1903 to the United States and working the iron mines in Ishpeming area and so on. In waiting for that, we started on this project, and we thought, well, if we could find 10 or 12 of the camps out there, we'd be very happy. And we ended up with probably about 45, because the more research you did, the more camps you found out about, the camps that are no longer there. But people say, well, you do remember this camp or that camp, and they would go into a dissertation on it, and in some cases we found photos of them, so we were able to verify all that information.
Oh boy!
So it was very enjoyable. It's time-consuming because you're talking to people all the time and interviewing people, but priceless, I think, in the friendships that you make. And
oh yeah, I'll bet.
We were truly grateful that day as we returned to Bill and Fran Bjork's home and office on the shores of Lake Superior. As we strolled the stony beach, we continued our conversation and realized just how fortunate we were to have Michiganians like Bill and Fran to document these unique slices of Michigan history that would otherwise be forgotten. Our thanks to the Bjorks for their great hospitality and dedication to preserving these priceless pieces of Michigan past. Michigan Magazine is being brought to you in part by... It's back and making memories for a new generation. The Rustic Inn of Lewiston, now open with hot, delicious food, your favorite beverage, and an atmosphere that'll keep you coming back to make new memories and new friends. The new Rustic Inn on Red Oak Road, just south of Lewiston. Clemix Sales and Service on Mapes Road, west of Mile, your complete recreational vehicle sales and service connection. Visit their beautiful showroom of new and pre-owned ATVs, lawnmowers, power equipment, snowmobiles, utility vehicles, and more. Clemix Sales and Service is also the home of the American-made Victory motorcycle line on display at Clemix on Mapes Road, Mile. The spirit has returned to the historic, newly remodeled Kerry James Restaurant in Cummins. Bring that special person for a delicious meal out, or bring the family for an amazing dining experience. The new owners have expanded seating and developed a delicious menu second to none. Stop in for a quick bite or experience the delicacies being prepared for you now at the new Kerry James of Cummins. From the busyness of a Detroit suburb, Fraser, Michigan, this husband and wife team, Misty Berry and Gregory Thornton, moved into the sparsely populated northeastern Lower Michigan community of Luzerne. With them, they brought dreams and an ingrained work ethic that would lead them into putting roots deep into the local environment. The two quickly turned a place that they came to only on vacation into a true home. They found the area receptive to new business, and with local encouragement, Misty and Gregory opened up for business, not one, but two businesses. Misty, a bake shop cafe, and Dr. Gregory, just down the block across the street, put out his Doctor of Chiropractic shingle. On an earlier edition, we visited with Misty at Sweet Misty Sweets, where her assimilation as a local was amazingly quick. Quite effortlessly, she not only found herself deep into the baking of goodies, catering to locals, and welcoming vacationers, but she and Gregory also found time to become involved as volunteers at the fire department, special school, and endless community events. On this edition, we crossed the street to visit with Dr. Gregory to find out more about his practice and love of the Luzerne area, where just under 3,000 souls make their home. Well, Luzerne is kind of an out-of-the-way place. It's a nice God's country. I mean, beautiful woods around us. How in the world did you decide to, put stakes into this piece of the wilderness?
Well, we have been coming up for years, vacationing up here, and I just fell in love with the area, with people up through here, and realized that I would rather be up here. So we talked and made the transition a little over a year ago, and it's been great since.
Yeah, you're a busy person, Alex.
Well, at practice, we get to see a lot of different, more challenging type of cases up through here, which has been really good for me. I get to see everything from little kids to senior citizens and anything in between. I get to do a lot of sports related stuff. I am volunteering. This is my second year over at the Mayo High School for the football team. I go over there once a week and work on them, trying to keep them going.
So when you come into Luzerne, you are involved in everything pretty much. I mean,
pretty much, yes.
Pretty much a hometown community.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I loved about here, and one of the big reasons of moving up is that more hometown-ish atmosphere, and besides a beautiful area.
Great. Now, you're not originally from this area. This is a new office that you just opened up, which we appreciate you making, staking out a part of northern Michigan, which we really sorely need.
We moved up from Fraser, Michigan, in which I was down there for 15 years, my own practice down there before coming up here.
Okay. Now, I see in your description it's chiropractic and nutrition. Those play hand in hand. Is that it?
Yes, I found that really works well together. If you're going to try to heal someone up, you need a balance from all different directions to do that, to at least run as optimal health as you could.
We're going to learn a little bit more about chiropractic in just a moment, but this building has got a lot of character. As I came in the door, the floors squeaked. That is quite the ambiance you've got here. What was this building before you renovated it?
The building was a mini-mart for many years, and then it became a appliance repair place.
Oh my.
That was here just for a short period of time. And then it sat for a while.
And then you saw it and you fell in love with it, and then a little elbow grease and determination.
Yes, I saw the floors, absolutely love those. The wood ceiling, the open space, just the old character to it.
Oh boy.
These floors can talk.
Oh boy, and they do in their own way, don't they?
Yes, they do. They squeak each day.
Now tell us a little bit about the world of chiropractic. People come in and they see you and they see the equipment and they think, oh my, what am I getting into? Now this is an age-old profession, isn't it? I mean.
Yes, yeah, well over 100 years old, and actually a lot of the concepts date even way back before that. The idea is to try to enhance the body so it can heal itself, since that's truly the only healing power.
Open up the avenues.
And try to get the right environment so you can do that.
Okay.
And get people basically functioning as well as you could be.
Okay, well, Dr. Greg, let's go into one of these scary rooms and, and kind of relieve my anxiety when I come in this room. What's this all about? I mean, this is your typical treatment room, right?
Yes, so this is a typical table that we'd be working on people with. And the idea is, well, it's just designed so we can get a lot of things to free up. In the spine, there's a lot of sensory, a lot of irritation, a lot of areas that can get locked up and alter health in a negative way. So we'll go through there, try to find out where things are at, along with also the other joints too. The knees, see a lot of ankle injuries. A lot of people up here are a lot of physical labor, so it's really kind of nice to be able to get things back in place so they can go out and keep doing their job.
Right. So you are really, truly a hands-on doctor.
Yes, everything is. I don't like to use a lot of the instrument type stuff in the field.
A big thanks to Dr. Gregory and Misty for taking that step and following their dreams and letting us tell their story that might indeed stir and inspire the adventurous to check out the sometimes hidden business opportunities along Michigan's back roads. Something special's cooking, hot and delicious. Indulge yourself at Morning at Maggie's in Bay City. Omelets, frittatas, hotcakes, and more. Make every day special with a stop at Morning at Maggie's for breakfast or lunch on Saginaw in Bay City. Rose Valley Winery on Beechwood Road in Rose City. See what thousands are raving about, creating a delicious variety of award-winning Michigan wines. Stop by and taste for yourself. The taste of Michigan is yours at Rose Valley Winery. Experience the beauty, artistry, and taste of Northern Michigan. Come to Amish Country Natural Products on Mount Tom Road, north of Mile, just off M33. From arts and crafts to fresh foods and vegetables, all natural, all local, all good. Stop by and get acquainted with Amish Country Natural Products, 1454 North Mount Tom Road, Mile. Thanks for joining us as we prepare for Memorial Day weekend, where we pay tribute to those who have fallen while serving in the U.S. military. Today's phrase of the week is, thank you to those serving to keep our country free. God bless America. Send that phrase to us via email to the address listed on the screen. We'll check in with you again next week for another edition of Michigan Magazine. We'd like to thank all those that help keep Michigan Magazine on the road. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts. For home medical and healthcare products, visit Rose City Drug at 2640 North M33, just south of Rose City city limits. Rose City Drug has a complete diabetic department, including shoes. Serving Michigan for over 20 years. Rose City Drug, Rose City. Hale Hardware, your do-it-center in Hale, Michigan. Much more than a regular hardware store, providing everything you need for whatever your project is, along with a knowledgeable sales staff to get her done. Serving Northern Michigan since 1946. Hale Hardware, south of M65 at Ainsley in Hale. Announcing the Michigan Paddle Sports Directory, your one-stop internet connection at MichiganPaddlesports.com. It's now possible to explore Michigan's extensive waterways like never before. Michigan Paddle Sports Directory is a comprehensive directory of canoe and kayak rentals and liveries throughout the entire state of Michigan. At MichiganPaddlesports.com, you'll find a great paddling route, outfitter, store, school, rental shop, or tour guide. Michigan's great waterways are waiting for you. Make it an adventure worth remembering by first visiting MichiganPaddlesports.com.